Welcome to today's MTD Podcast. I'm at Colchester Machine Tool Solutions in Elland at their HQ, where they moved into, in fact, in May 2019, so just over a year ago. I'm with Jonathan Wright, who's the Managing Director of the company. We'll be finding out a little bit more about Jonathan shortly. I'm Paul Jones, the host of today's podcast, the founder and Managing Director of MTD Jonathan, welcome to today's show. Maybe for our audience, you could just give us a little bit of an insight into your background and your position as it is now here at the business.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Jonathan Wright, and as you said, I'm the Managing Director here at Colchester Machine Tool Solutions. I took over as Managing Director in August 2019, so just about to come up to my first anniversary. But I've actually been associated with the business for some 25, 26 years. Way back in the early 90s, I was actually a sponsored undergraduate by the company. So I went through my degree in electrical engineering, and then after I graduated, I came to work for the company. I then decided to move on and kind of spread my wings in machine tools. But then I actually came back to Colchester in 2000. So April 2000. So I've been here now for 20 years. My background predominantly is electrical engineering. So when I joined the company in 2000, I came in as electrical engineering manager, and predominantly I was heavily involved in systems integration, working very closely with our control partners, predominantly FANUC in the UK. And then I became technical director in 2008. And then I held the role of technical director, like I say, until August last year when I moved into the MD position.
Many different pressures? More pressures, or they're just different pressures? Or both?
I think both. Certainly, for me being heavily from a technical background, the move into the MD position, certainly presented itself with lots of challenges and lots of opportunities. But certainly it's been something that I've relished. Getting an understanding of other aspects of the business. I think particularly on the commercial side of things.
I almost think it's better to go that way round than the other, because I think our industry, and we're going to talk about, as coming up in today's podcast, just for those listening, we're going to be talking about the machines that are now coming through this business that are evolving, lots of new technology. Also the move here, which happened just over a year ago. Automation, we'll touch on that, control systems. So a lot to talk about. But yet, Jonathan, for me, it's better to come that way than the other, because I just think if you don't have technical expertise in this industry, it must be very hard to try and run a business and judge, what's right and what's wrong. I believe.
I think I would agree with you on that. Yes, I think having that kind of technical understanding of the products and that kind of deep product knowledge has certainly been a huge benefit for me as I've kind of moved more into the kind of commercial aspects of the business and the financial aspects of the business. So yeah, I think I would agree with you on that one.
Right, I want to talk about the products now, because one thing that fascinates me, if you go on Google, the most searched term for a machine is Colchester. So quite reasonable to suggest that one of the reasons you rebranded the company or renamed the company some time ago was probably for that reason as well. It is a name that's synonymous with longevity. The machines have been around for many, many years, and there's probably not anybody listening to this podcast that hasn't had their hands on a Colchester machine of some description. Was that the main reason for the name change, which happened, I think, was that last year or the year before?
It was, we actually launched the rebranding exercise at MAC 2018, so just over 2 years ago now. But you've hit the nail on the head. Colchester Lathe Company formed in, the 1880s. It's been around a long time, synonymous with, as you say, longevity, precision, performance, reliability, quality. And we really wanted to kind of, lever that brand, because it's a globally recognised brand. As you say, everybody's heard of Colchester. the number of engineers that I speak to, and they always look back very, very fondly about, you know, their apprenticeship days or their early days in engineering. You know, this is other kind of, you know, managing directors and CEOs, and they always look back and say, oh yes, you know, I cut my teeth on a Colchester machine. So, the brand is extremely strong, globally recognised, and I think when you look at the name, you know, Colchester Machine Tool Solutions, yes, Colchester, we wanted, you know, to utilise that brand and you know, make sure that we you know, we were associated with, you know, things like precision, performance, reliability, which is synonymous in the brand heritage. Machine tools, obviously, you know, that's what we do here. We provide machine tools, but solutions is the other key thing as well, because we're not just providing kind of off-the-shelf machine tools here. What we're providing for our customers is a full solution package. And that's very important for us because, like I say, it's not just standard machines that we're selling. We're selling, you know, automation. We're selling our engineering capability. We're selling our service knowledge, our service capability as well. So all those value-added services and products that we offer are crucial. So, yeah, I think the makeup of the name was very deliberate. So, you know, Colchester Machine Tool Solutions was key.
And was the reason you embarked on that and made that change? Because we look at the machine tool industry, and from when I started selling machines back in the sort of 2000, actually when you came back to the company here, there was not as much competition around then as there is now. Some of the lower cost machines weren't as reliable, weren't selling as well as they maybe do now. So opportunities were probably greater then to sell. Where I'm going with this, Jonathan, is did you need the rebrand? Did you need new machinery? Was the business under threat because maybe this brand that had become or was synonymous with quality was being caught in some respects by others? Was that part of it? Is that a reasonable analogy to suggest?
You're certainly right in you know, it's a crowded marketplace out there now. You know, the competition has increased, you know, certainly over the last 20 years. But we've always been a forward-looking company. We've always been, you know, looking to continue to develop and grow the business. And so, you know, round about 4 years ago, we did a very kind of deep strategic review of the business, and there were a number of key factors that we implemented to make sure that as a business we continued with the growth, we continued, you know, taking market share. And we continue to make sure that, you know, the name Colchester was at the forefront of everyone's attention. The rebranding exercise was one leg of that strategic review. The relocation of the business into this new facility was another leg of that review. And
that relocation we're going to talk about now, because coming here, one of the big things about selling machine tools is installing confidence in either your new customer or your existing customer. Coming here, you've got a lot of space, you've got a lot of technology in the showroom that's in action, quickly doing demonstrations if you require it. You've got a training, call it training room here, training centre, which we're in now doing this podcast. How important is that, do you think, to engineers when they're looking to invest in capital equipment, to be reassured that a business has all of those offerings for them, especially if it's new to them?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely key. You know, it's vital for for customers, prospective customers. When we decided to look at relocating the business, you know, one of the key drivers behind it, and the thing that I made sure was in the forefront of everybody's mindset, was customer experience. You know, we wanted to ensure that customer experience was as good as it ever could be. And so, you know, when we looked at laying out this new facility, you know, we looked at putting in a nice kind of light, spacious showroom area, which we've got here. We needed to ensure that we had a full range of machines, machine tools and laser marking products that were here, that were fully powered every day of the week. We wanted to be able to offer to our customers, you know, we can run an in-house exhibition 24/7, you know, and that's what we've got here. And again, you know, customer experience, we want to make sure that when customers come in here, they can see all the products, they can have live cutting demonstrations. They can bring their own tool in, their own parts in. We can run components off for them. We can really tailor the visit to exactly what they want to make sure that they get out of it exactly what they need.
Which wasn't as readily available at your previous.
It wasn't at
location.
all. We were constrained in the previous location. It was a manufacturing facility that was built in the late 70s, early 80s, and there were constraining factors in there. So we knew that we had to take a big step to allow us to almost kind of execute the vision that we had for the business and really kind of move it forward.
And that's from a sort of machine sales and support perspective as a company now, as I see it. I mean, when I walk out the back of the showroom with Paul earlier, when he took me out the back, I couldn't believe the amount of machines that you'd got here. And that's not because you're not selling them. That's just because you're ready to satisfy the demand for this popular brand, isn't you? I mean, these are in educational sectors, these are in general industry, but the throughput of machines is a lot greater than what I thought.
Absolutely, yes. Again, one of the other drivers behind moving was to, improve efficiencies, reduce lead times, and going back to, the company name, the rebranding, Colchester Machine Tool Solutions. We need to make sure that we can integrate that customer solution as quickly and as effectively and as efficiently as possible. So we put a lot of work, a lot of emphasis on the layout of the facility that we moved in, and we've seen phenomenal efficiency gains since we've moved in here, and the throughput of machines now compared to where we were 2, 3, 4 years ago it's unrecognisable, to be honest.
Yeah, next point that it really comes on to, because within all of this, you talk about the rebrand, you talk about the move, then we talk about the technology. Now, I see behind us here, you've got subspindle Y-axis lathes, you've got high-speed vertical machining centres of all sizes, you've got flatbed lathes with the latest FANUC controls on them with mill drill function. It's gone well beyond a conventional lathe, hasn't it, here now? And
Absolutely.
these have all been brought to market recently, just to add even more value to your offering.
Yeah, that's right. We continue to expand the portfolio range, and again, we want to be able to offer to all of our customers effectively, a one-stop solution shop, which is what we've got here. So, yes, we've got the full conventional range of turning machines, milling machines, drilling machines, grinding, etc., right the way through our flatbed alpha machine range, right the way into CNC turning centres, 2-axis to 5-axis, VMCs, and of course now permanent laser marking solutions as well, which really complement the machining side of the business. We call this facility our European Technology Centre because what we showcase in here really is our technology and our technical capability of what we can offer to customers.
I've seen some of these machines cutting dry, some hard materials, really showing off their build quality. I also want to touch on the automation because in conjunction with the laser marking, in fact, what you were going to be taking to MAC, and which you may be taking when MAC happens in January, was a robo-job solution that was feeding a turning centre, and then it was picking the component off, and then it was laser marking the part as well. That's evidence that you guys are providing a solution, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. Particularly now, and I think furthermore in the future, permanent marking and traceability of any component that's manufactured is absolutely vital. That traceability element. So we really wanted to showcase kind of machine tool technologies with laser marking technologies and create a fully automated cell. So yes, we developed that for MAC. We have that running as a live demonstration here at the European Technology Centre. And as you rightly say, we combine robotic automation with 3-axis turning technologies and permanent laser marking solution to give that one kind of fully integrated solution for customers.
Size of this showroom, because obviously this is a podcast. What can you tell people as the size here so they can get a feeling for what we're actually talking about? Floor-wise, floor space.
So here in the showroom, we've got about 5,000 square feet. We have anything from We can run anywhere between 20 and 30 machine tools permanently at any one time. Everyone's kind of powered individually. Everything's fully up and running. As I said earlier, you know, we can run pretty much an in-house exhibition 24/7 at the drop of a hat. You know, it's and that's the kind of setup we wanted. You know, we want our sales team to be able to bring any customer in at any time of the day without any notice, and have all this available to them permanently.
And when someone does come here and they're sold on a solution, Jonathan, how do the machines compete on price? We've spoken already about a crowded market, especially at the moment with a lot of machinery coming in from overseas, and the brakes have been put on the industry for what's been going on recently. We're starting to see it loosen up a bit now, but where would you stand in terms of value for money and cost?
I think, you know, I think if you look at the core values of the brand, I think value for money is a key driver for us. And again, we talk about things like, you know, precision, reliability, performance, longevity. There are cheaper products out there on the market, but I'm a firm believer in, you know, you get what you pay for at the end of the day. What we're offering here is a competitively priced solution. So it's not just a standard machine. You know, we are talking about a solution. We'll work with customers, and we provide an engineering service to customers. We provide a training and an application service to customers. We provide after sales services to customers as well. So it is really a solutions package, but it is very competitively priced. But you are buying a quality machine tool that's going to last you a long time.
And do you think there'll be many changes within industry in the next few months? I mean, I'm talking to a lot of machine tool providers as well as engineers that are using their equipment, and you know, the technology aspect and automation are words that keep cropping up. Do you think, as a result of what we've just been through, the engineering market will start to really harness that? I know it's a message that we've all been talking about, and we've talked about it today on this show, and you've got it out there in in its glory, actually loading a turning centre. But do you believe that automation, and there will be other factors that will change going forward?
I think there will. I think what we'll see from the latest kind of crisis that we've all been experiencing, I think we'll see an acceleration of what was already happening. People talk about Industry 4 and the Internet of Things and connectivity and data. You know, these are things that have been around a long time. They're not new subjects that we're talking about. I think generally in the UK, I think we've been relatively kind of slow on the uptake of some of these technologies. And I think what we see now will accelerate that. You know, we've been providing a connectivity solution for a couple of years now on our machines, which you can fit not just to CNC machines, but you can fit to conventional machines. So machines without any kind of embedded intelligence in them. We can connect that machine up to the net and remotely monitor it from anywhere in the world. And I think what we're going to see now over the next few months is an acceleration of the adoption of these technologies. I think connectivity and data collection certainly is going to become more and more at the forefront. You know, we've seen lots of people over the past kind of 2-3 months really having to adapt how they conduct their business. A lot of more people are working remotely, working from home. A lot more meetings are being held, over video conferencing, and I think people are finding actually these things can work quite well. And I think it's starting to give them the confidence that actually, maybe I should be investing in kind of more sort of connected and automated technologies to help me going forward.
They've also had the time, in some respects, to be able to do that. I mean, our telemarketers have been telemarketing throughout this. The period, and they're finding that they're actually having more time on the phone with the subject. Quite interestingly, because we scrutinise it and monitor it a lot, and actually some of their call times have more than doubled. So they're either have got less to do, or they're more interested to find out what they can do to improve what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you touch on a really good point there. The Industry 4.0 efficiencies, machine monitoring. I know that you have been doing this on the more conventional style machines. I wonder how much uptake do you get on that, or have you had on that? Because you kind of look at it must be a hard sell. I can see the benefits, but it must be a hard sell because people don't look at those machines as ones that should be efficient, but they still need to be.
Absolutely right. It is difficult, and this is what I mean about, I think up to now, the uptake on this time of technology has been relatively slow. I think particularly amongst kind of the SME community, because it is an investment that people have to make. Although what we offer is highly competitive and I think affordable for pretty much everyone out there. But it is an area where I think people have still been a little bit, shall we say, frightened of the technology. I've seen, a lot of what out there is still very high tech, and it's great from a technical point of view and from a kind of an engineering geek point of view, if you like. It's fantastic things to kind of get your teeth into. But for a lot of people, that the technology is still kind of a little bit daunting, and so that does provide a barrier for people. So the uptake is kind of has been quite slow up to now. But I think what we're seeing now, as you rightly say, I think people, they have had a little bit more time to kind of explore the technologies and gain a more in-depth understanding of what it is, what it means to them, what it can do for them, and how it can benefit the business. I'm a great believer in, if you can't measure something, you can't improve it or you can't fix it. And what this allows people to do is to measure that function, whatever it is, and make the kind of financial or efficiency gains further down the line. So I think it really has given people an opportunity to understand the technology more, and got them really thinking, actually, yeah, this could be for me. It's really worth taking a look at.
Because using methods of managing your efficiency can prevent you from having to, and this isn't a way of saying people shouldn't buy new machinery, but it can make them get more out of what they've got to make their business, essentially more productive. But then that means they can compete more, they can get more customers, and then they can buy machines. They've got to make sure they're doing things right in the first place to be effective.
Absolutely. It it allows them to, like I say, kind of measure all kinds of aspects on their machines. And it does give them that that opportunity to do that right across whatever their machine shop looks like. Whether it's a small machine shop with a handful of machines or a big kind of automated plant. It gives them the opportunity to really kind of analyse and focus what they're already doing, where they can make efficiency gains, how they can really get the best out of their asset, and also how they can increase the longevity of their assets as well. Because I think we still have a culture in this country of I'll wait till it's broken before I fix it. And I think people now, they kind of changing their mindset a little bit and actually doing some measuring, doing some monitoring, and kind of trying to predict, any future failures or looking after the product is really going to be beneficial for people.
And all that can be done within the sort of software and solutions that you were talking about.
Absolutely.
Jonathan, you're less than a year into your managing directorship, should we say? You've come in at a pretty difficult time, haven't you? With the Brexit negotiations and now this. You're hoping for some clear water in front of you.
I think it's certainly been an interesting, challenging year, shall we say? Yes, there was the Brexit negotiations and everything around that. The political fallout of that and the turmoil that created, and then kind of straight into the COVID-19 situation, which is unprecedented for all of us. We've certainly still got some challenges ahead. The industry has got some challenges to face in the short term, but here we're still very much focused on growth and growing the business. And I'm certainly looking forward to working through the challenges and continue to really push the business forward. And
it's fair to say, when you look at the infrastructure you've got here, you look at the machines, you look at the journey that you've been on in recent years, it'd be fair to say you're a pretty good bet for someone if they want to buy a machine at the moment, aren't you? You're a pretty secure company.
Yes, we've got the products, we've got the portfolio, and as I said, right back at the beginning of this, what we're offering here is that customer experience. And we'd love to get more and more customers up here to the European Technology Centre to showcase the products, and to really help them make sure that they make the right choice in their purchases.
Good stuff. Thank you very much for joining us today, Jonathan. It's been a real pleasure to be here and to conduct this podcast. Thanks to all of our listeners. You can find all of our podcasts on whatever platform you listen to your podcasts on. Join us again next week. We'll be talking to another industry guest.
Thanks for listening to the MTD Podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on mtdcnc.com.